When the blinding light finally faded, Mira found herself standing on solid ground, cold, uneven, and covered in dust. The air was thick with silence, a kind that didn't belong to the academy or any place she knew. Slowly, her vision adjusted. She was inside a vast stone chamber. Ancient pillars towered around her, carved with symbols that glowed faintly, the same spiral shapes that had appeared in her room. Every surface seemed to hum softly, like the walls were alive and breathing. Mira turned in a slow circle, heart racing. Kale was gone. Lisa was gone. She was alone, but a faint echo drifted through the chamber, distant but rhythmic, like footsteps or the heartbeat of the earth itself. Mira took a cautious step forward, the sound growing slightly louder. "Where am I?" she whispered into the emptiness. The chamber didn't answer, but something else did. The soft pulse of blue light shimmered along the floor, stretching into a thin line that stopped at Myra's feet. When she watched closely, she realized it wasn't random, that IT was a path. The same symbol from her arm glowed at the start of it, as if responding to her presence. Mira swallowed hard. She didn't know why she was here or who brought her, but she knew one thing. This place wanted her to move forward. The air shifted, carrying a low, ancient whisper, one she couldn't fully understand but felt deep inside her chest. Step forward. Her fingers trembled as she lifted her foot and placed it on the glowing line. The light flared gently, guiding her toward a tall archway at the far end of the chamber. Mira hesitated for a final moment. Then she walked toward the unknown, and the chamber doors began to open. As Mira stepped through the tall archway, the heavy stone doors parted with a deep, grinding sound. Beyond them lay a vast corridor, stretching into darkness, lit only by thin streams of blue light running along the walls. The air was colder here, older. The echoes of her footsteps faded quickly, swallowed by the sheer scale of the place. It felt less like a building and more like a forgotten world beneath the earth. She kept following the glowing path beneath her feet. Every few steps, the markings responded to her presence, brightening as if recognizing her. But with each pulse of light, she felt a quiet pressure in her chest, an invisible pull guiding her deeper. The corridor eventually widened into a circular hall. Ancient murals covered the walls, their symbols glowing faintly. Mira stepped closer, studying them. Human figures stood carved in stone, their arms raised towards swirling spirals in the sky. Beneath them, strange shapes, beasts, storms, waves of energy, appeared to emerge from the same spirals. She reached out and brushed her fingers across one of the carvings. The stone warmed under her touch. Suddenly, the mural shifted. Not physically, yet it felt alive, as if her mind had been pulled into the memory carved into the wall. For a heartbeat, she saw flickers of movement, shadows running, a city burning, a sky cracking open with the same spiral symbol. Mira jerked her hand back. The vision vanished instantly. Her breath came unsteady. "What is this place?" she whispered. Before she could analyze the murals further, she heard something soft, distant, but unmistakable. Footsteps. Not hers, slow, measured, approaching from deeper within the ruins. Mira froze, listening as the sound echoed closer, sparks of light from the walls, flickering with each impact. Someone else was here, or something. The footsteps paused just beyond the next passageway. Myra's pulse quickened. She took a cautious step back, searching for cover. But before she could hide, a silhouette appeared in the doorway, tall, cloaked, its face obscured by shadow. The figure stopped, as if sensing her. Then it spoke, its voice calm and unexpectedly human. "You've awakened it." Mira didn't breathe. The figure stepped forward, revealing a faint glimmer of silver markings across its arms, patterns almost identical to the ones glowing beneath Myra's skin. And with absolute certainty, the figure said, "I've been waiting for you." Mira didn't move. She wasn't sure if she could. The cloaked figure stepped fully into the hall, its silver markings glowing softly beneath the fabric. They pulsed in a steady rhythm, almost matching the faint light beneath Myra's own skin. For a moment, they simply stared at one another. Then the figure lowered its hood. IT was a man. His face was calm, his expression unreadable, yet his eyes carried something old, older than any soldier, scholar, or warrior she had ever known. "Who are you?" Mira asked, trying to steady her voice. The man didn't answer immediately. Instead, he studied her with a quiet intensity, as though confirming a question only he knew. Finally, he spoke. "My name is Archon," he said, "and you were never supposed to come here alone." Mira felt a chill run down her spine. "I didn't choose to come here. Something pulled me, yes." Archon interrupted softly. "The ruin responded to your mark. It brought you to where your path begins." Mira looked down at her arm. The faint spiral shimmered beneath the skin, glowing more brightly than before. "What is this mark?" she asked. "Why does it keep reacting to this place?" Archon stepped closer, but slowly, giving her time to retreat if she wished. She didn't. He raised his hand, revealing his own markings, similar shapes, but far more intricate, as though written in layers of history. "That mark on your arm is ancient," Archon said. "A bond that chooses only one bearer in a generation. A bond to something greater than this world." Mira shook her head slightly. "You're talking like I was destined for something. But I'm not." "You are," Archon said, "whether you accept it or not." The hall fell silent again. Myra's heart pounded as she tried to process the weight of his words. Before she could speak again, Archon turned toward the doorway he came from. "Walk with me," he said. "You must see what lies beyond. Only then will you understand why you were brought here and why others will try to find you." Mira hesitated, but only for a breath. Then she followed him. The glowing path brightened beneath their steps, leading them deeper into the ruins. And as they walked, an uneasy truth settled in Myra's chest. Whatever lay ahead had been waiting for her. Mira followed Archon down the long, echoing passageway. The walls seemed to shift with soft pulses of light, as if responding to their presence. Each step carried them deeper into the heart of the ruins, where air grew heavier and charged with faint energy. Archon walked with calm certainty, his cloak brushing quietly across the stone floor. Mira finally gathered the courage to speak. "You said others will try to find me. Who are they?" Archon didn't look back. "Not everyone seeks the mark with good intentions. Your awakening will not go unnoticed." Myra's stomach tightened. She had barely begun to understand what the mark meant, and already danger surrounded her. They reached another chamber, smaller than the first, but far more intricate. The walls were covered with spirals, geometric shapes, and ancient writing Mira had never seen. At the center of the room stood a large stone pedestal carved with the same symbol glowing on her arm. Archon stopped before it. "This place," he said quietly, "is the first sanctuary of your kind." "My kind?" Mira asked. "I'm not different from anyone else." Archon turned to her, his expression firm. "You are different. The mark shows you. That makes you the next keeper." Mira stepped back slightly. "Keeper of what?" Archon placed his hand on the stone pedestal. It responded instantly, lighting up in steady waves that traveled across the floor and up the walls. "Keeper of the Spiral Gate," Archon said. "A power that connects realms. A power that has been dormant for centuries." The room thrummed with a low vibration, growing stronger. Mira felt the mark on her arm heat gently. Never painful, but commanding her attention. "Why me?" she whispered. "I didn't ask for this." "No one ever does," Archon replied. "But the mark sees what others do not. It recognizes strength long before the bearer sees it in themselves." Mira looked at him, breathing slowly, trying to calm the storm of questions inside her. Archon stepped aside, revealing faint inscriptions circling the pedestal. "These ruins awakened because you entered them," he said. "But this awakening will echo far beyond their walls. Someone else has already sensed it." Mira felt the air shift. A distant rumble traveled through the ground, subtle but unmistakable, like something massive had stirred. At Archon's expression hardened. "They are coming." The lights dimmed. The air grew colder, and Mira realized that whatever awaited her was no longer a distant threat. IT was already on its way. The rumbling grew louder, slow, rolling waves that traveled through the stone beneath Myra's feet. Dust drifted from the ceiling, and the glowing symbols along the walls flickered in uneven pulses. Archon stepped forward, placing himself between Mira and the passageway they had come from. "Stay close," he said. "If they reach us here, the ruins will react." Mira didn't know what he meant, but she could feel the energy in the room changing. The air tightened, as if the chamber itself were holding its breath. "What's coming?" she whispered, that Archon's gaze didn't leave the entrance. "Hunters. People who have spent their lives searching for the power you carry. They do not understand it. They only want to claim it." Myra's pulse quickened. "What did they find me so fast?" "They sensed the awakening of the gate," Archon replied. "You triggered something far greater than you realize." The ground trembled again, stronger this time. The sound of boots echoed through the halls. Multiple footsteps, fast and deliberate, closing in on the sanctuary. Mira backed away from the pedestal, her breath growing shallow. Archon raised one hand. His silver markings brightened, casting a faint glow across the chamber. "You must stay behind me, no matter what happens." A shadow appeared at the entrance. Then another point, 3 figures stepped into view, cloaked, masked, and moving with silent precision. Their eyes glowed faintly through their masks, fixed directly on Mira. One of them spoke, voice flat and metallic. "She is the one. Secure her." Mira felt her chest tighten. Archon remained still, but the markings along his arms flared brighter. "You will not touch her." The lead figure tilted his head. "You cannot protect her. The mark belongs to us now." Before Archon could respond, the ruins reacted. The pedestal behind Mira began to glow, brighter and brighter, until sharp beams of blue light shot upward, forming a circular pattern above. The hunters froze, that Archon's expression hardened. "Mira, the gate is activating. It's responding to your fear." Mira stared at him, overwhelmed. "I don't know how to stop it." "You are meant to stop it," Archon said. "You are meant to guide it." The air around the pedestal spiraled with energy, forming a vortex of light. The hunters stepped forward. Archon took a defensive stance, and Mira stood between 2 forces she barely understood, realizing that the ruins, this ancient power, was awakening because of her, and it wasn't going to wait. The chamber vibrated as the light above the pedestal widened, swirling into a perfect ring. The air whipped around Mira, pulling at her hair and clothes. She braced herself, but the energy didn't feel hostile. It felt like it was waiting for her. The hunters advanced in a straight line, unfazed by the chaos. Their masked faces reflected the blue glow as they raised slender devices shaped like rods, tools Mira didn't recognize, but Archon clearly did. "Move back," Archon warned her. The hunters didn't stop. One of them pointed his rod toward Mira. A ripple of pale energy shot forward, but Archon stepped into its path. The beam hit the markings on his arm and scattered like dust. The hunter lowered his weapon slightly, surprised. "You still protect the line," he said. "I will protect the keeper," Archon replied, voice steady. "Even from you." Mira stared at them both, the words echoing in her mind. Keeper, gate, mark. She felt like she was standing in the center of a story she didn't understand. The hunters repositioned, forming a semicircle around Archon. Their movements were precise, practiced, and silent. Archon glanced at Mira once. "Listen to me. The gate is reacting to your presence. You need to understand its pull. Don't resist it." "I don't know how," Mira began, but the vortex behind her intensified, pulling her a step closer. That Archon's voice sharpened. "Feel the mark on your arm. It will guide you." The mark began to glow through her sleeve, brighter than ever, almost burning, yet the sensation wasn't pain. It was urgency. The pedestal thumped like a heartbeat. Once, twice, faster. The gate was awakening fully. The hunters raised their rods again, preparing a coordinated strike. That Archon's markings blazed with sharp silver light. Mira turned toward the swirling vortex. The energy pulled harder, and she let her hand hover over the pedestal, just inches from touching it. The moment her palm neared the surface, the ruins responded. Light exploded outward, a shockwave rippled across the chamber, knocking the hunters off balance and forcing them to shield their faces. Even Archon staggered, though he regained his footing quickly. The vortex narrowed into a focused beam that connected directly to the spiral on Myra's arm. Her breath caught. Images flashed in her mind. Mountains, storms, a sky split by spirals, and a vast door of shimmering light. The gate was showing her something. Archon called out over the roar of energy. "Mira, whatever you see, listen to it." She tried, but the light only grew brighter, and then everything around her began to dissolve into the same blinding white that had brought her here in the first place. Mira wasn't being attacked. She was being transported. The white light swallowed everything. Archon, the hunters, the chamber, until the world around Mira felt weightless. She reached out instinctively, but her hands touched nothing. There was no ground beneath her feet, no air moving around her, just silence. Then, slowly, the light dimmed. Shapes began to form around her, soft at first, then sharpening into a landscape she didn't recognize. Mira blinked as her vision adjusted. She was standing in an open field. Tall silver grass swayed in a wind she couldn't feel. Jagged mountains rose in the distance, too steep, too sharp, unlike any mountain she had ever seen. Above them, the sky shimmered with faint spiral patterns that shifted like living constellations. It was beautiful, unreal, impossible. Mira whispered to herself. "This isn't the ruins," a voice answered her. "No, it is not." Mira turned sharply. Someone stood behind her, a woman, tall, calm, and dressed in robes woven with threads of glowing light. Her eyes reflected the same spiral patterns that shimmered above in the sky. Mira stepped back. "Who are you?" The woman tilted her head slightly, as if studying Myra's fear. "I'm a memory keeper. A projection created long before your time." "A projection?" Mira repeated, unsure. "Yes," the woman said. "I am not alive, not as you understand it. I exist to guide the next bearer of the mark." Myra's breath caught. "You mean me? You?" The keeper confirmed gently. "The ruins brought you here because your awakening is incomplete. You must learn what the mark means before the hunters reach you again." The windless grass shimmered with pale color. Mira felt a faint pressure in her arm, the mark glowing softly, matching the patterns in the sky. "What is this place?" she asked. "A memory of what once was," the keeper said. "A world connected to yours. A world lost." Mira felt her chest tighten. "Lost? How?" The keeper looked toward the mountains. "Because the gate was misused. Because those who sought power forgot its purpose." The sky flickered, showing brief images, cities collapsing, spirals darkening, shadows rising. Mira swallowed, feeling the weight of every picture. The keeper turned back to her. "Your world is in the early stages of the same danger. The hunters you saw are only the beginning." Mira took a slow breath, trying to steady herself. "Then what am I supposed to do? I don't know how to control any of this." The keeper stepped closer, her expression calm but firm. "You are not meant to control it. You are meant to balance it." Mira frowned. "Balance what?" The keeper raised a hand. The sky above Mira shifted again, spirals forming two clear shapes, one bright, point one dark. The gate connects realms. Light to shadow, creation to destruction. If one side grows stronger, your world will break. Mira stared up, overwhelmed. "And you think I can stop that?" "You must," the keeper said. "You are the first to awaken the mark in centuries." The ground trembled softly beneath them. The keeper's expression changed, her calm replaced by urgency. "They are reaching you. You cannot stay here." Myra's heartbeat quickened. "Who? The hunters?" "No," the keeper said quietly. "Something worse." The field around them began to dissolve. Light pulled Mira upward again, and the keeper's final words echoed as the world faded. "Find the hidden gate before they do."
Right,
The
team, let's
night
finalize the strategy
deepened,
for the
and
presentation
the
tomorrow.
city's noise
We need to highlight our
faded
key
into a
findings and
distant
ensure
hum.
the data supports our
Inside the
recommendation.
dimly lit hideout, tension thickened like smoke. Everyone had gathered around the wooden table. Rehan, Zion, Iris, and the silent hacker girl. Ava. Ava finally broke the silence. "There's something I didn't tell you," she said, her fingers nervously tapping the keyboard. Rehan leaned forward. "What is it?" Ava swallowed hard. The encrypted drive we stole, it's not just data. It's connected to a live satellite feed. If we try to open it without the right sequence, it will trigger a location alert. Zion's jaw tightened, meaning someone will come for us. Not someone, Ava corrected. The organization. And they won't come to negotiate. A cold chill spread through the room. Iris stood up slowly. So what do we do now? Ava looked at Rehan with trembling eyes. I need you to get something for me. A key device hidden in the old industrial zone. Without it, we can't unlock the drive safely. Rehan frowned. And what's the problem? Ava hesitated. The place is heavily guarded. And once we step inside, there may be no coming back. The room went silent. Rehan exhaled deeply. We don't have a choice. If this drive holds secrets about Zion's past and the organization, we need it. Zion nodded firmly. Let's do it. Ava whispered one last warning. This mission will push all of you to your limits. Rehan gave a small smirk. Good. Limits are meant to be broken. And with that, the team prepared for the most dangerous task of the episode yet. The team moved through the silent streets like shadows. The old industrial zone was far from the city's glow, an abandoned maze of rusted pipes, broken windows, and echoing emptiness. Rehan led the way, his eyes sharp, his senses alert. Zion whispered, You sure this is the place? Ava nodded, clutching her small gadget tightly. The device should be inside that warehouse, the one with the collapsed roof. The building looked like a skeleton, dark, damaged, and dangerous. Iris scanned the area. It looks empty. Ava shook her head. That's what makes it worse. They approached quietly, but before Rehan could push the door open, click, the tiny red laser appeared across his chest. Rehan froze from the shadows above. Masked guards emerged, silent, trained, and already aiming. Zion cursed under his breath. We walked right into a trap. A voice echoed through the warehouse, cold and mocking. Looking for the device, aren't you? Everyone stiffened. The voice was familiar. Too familiar to figure stepped out from the darkness. His coat brushing the dusty ground, a man with sharp eyes. A man Rehan had hoped never to see again. Welcome back, Rehan, he said with a cruel smile. I knew you'd come. Rehan's fists clenched. Ava whispered, terrified. Who is he? Rehan's voice trembled with anger. My ex-mentor and the most dangerous man I've ever known. The warehouse filled with tension instantly. The man smirked. Let's see if you're still worth teaching or destroying. The air inside the warehouse felt heavier than the thick dust swirling around them. Rehan stood face to face with the man he once trusted, his ex-mentor, now the mastermind behind the trap. Zion stepped closer to Rehan, whispering, Say the word, we fight. But Rehan lifted a hand, stopping him. His mentor chuckled. Still so impulsive, Zion. Some things never change. Iris tightened her grip on her weapon, eyes scanning the guards positioned above them. Ava struggled to keep her voice steady. We only want the device. Give it to us, and we'll leave peacefully. The mentor smirked as if she had told a joke. Peacefully, he stepped forward, the metal floor echoing under his boots. You don't understand what you're chasing. That device isn't just a tool, it's a key. Rehan's jaw tightened. A key to what? The mentor's smile faded. His voice dropped to a chilling whisper. A storm is coming. Bigger than anything you've imagined. Ava exchanged a frightened glance with Iris. If you know something, Rehan pressed, then tell us. His mentor shook his head slowly. Not yet. You're not ready. He motioned to his guards. They retracted their weapons instantly. Everyone was shocked. Ava stuttered. You're letting us go? The mentor turned his back to them. Take the device. But understand this. Finding it means you've stepped into a war you cannot escape. A hidden compartment opened, and the small metallic device slid out as if delivered by unseen hands. Rehan grabbed it, but felt no victory, only dread. The mentor spoke one last time, without turning around. Episode 4 ends here for you. But for the world, the real story is just beginning. The warehouse doors unlocked with a loud metallic snap. The team fled into the night, device in hand, hearts pounding. But Rehan couldn't shake the truth. His mentor hadn't spared them out of mercy, he had spared them out of necessity, because something far more dangerous was coming.